Now, when we had the Hasbro Pulse Fan First Friday, we were shown a bunch of reveals, but two that weren't shown to us were that of Exhaust and Greasepit. We found out about those due to a eBay user that managed to get case assortments of these and had multiple of them for sale. They were pretty reasonably priced, and they got bought out very quickly. According to the seller, these case assortments were $24 per case, so it seems like these, maybe fell off a truck on the way to Hasbro Pulse's factories and stuff, and of course what will probably end up appearing in Toys R Us in the near future here in Canada. That being said, people on the TFW 2005 boards have picked these up and have finally gotten them in the mail, and we now have seen some extensive shots of the alt modes of both of these instead of just in the box and the robot mode. And I am pleasantly surprised with a lot of the little nods and little pieces of information that are going on here. So let's talk about Exhaust first. Now, obviously, he is an homage to the Marlboro Wheeljack and the whole cigarette connection. If you look on the alt mode, there's a little bit of Japanese written on the side there. It's actually, and see, here's the funny thing. It's written in Japanese. It says Decepticon in Japanese, but it's funny because Decepticons were called Destrons in Japan. I think they only started to be calling Decepticons after the 2007 movie. They kind of just ran with that Decepticon instead of calling them Destrong. But yeah, so Decepticon written on the side here. We have the 598, which was the original numbers found on the old Marlboro's Lancia Wheeljack. But here's where it gets more interesting. Let's talk about the emblems that are all over this car, and I'll give Hasbro or the Deco guy some credit. So we have a Royal with a crown there. It's a nod to Royal cigarettes. We have a 7 with 2 dice. That's a nod to Lucky 7 cigarettes, which later on became Lucky Strike cigarettes. And yeah, and then the last one is Bandit, that's on the front of the car, and that's again Bandit Cigarettes, which was an old cigarette company. The only one I can't see, there's something written on the spoiler, and I have no angles of it, but I would not be surprised if it's a nod to yet another non-existent cigarette company from back in the day. Kudos to Hasbro for figuring out a way to, on a non-retail product, at least in the United States, Canada will be getting these in retail at some point. But kudos to Hasbro for somehow still giving the cigarette history of this character all over it, even though without having to do the Marlboro's kind of look. Again, the Marlboro's look that is really solidified with Marlboro's Wheeljack back in the day was if you actually looked at the toy from an upside-down angle, he had this, like, I guess you could call it a V with the red, and it looked like a pack of Marlboro cigarettes. Obviously, that V has been taken care of, and it doesn't exist on the deco of this figure anymore out of fear of, obviously, copyright and trademark. And even when they did the Masterpiece one, too, some changes were done to kind of avoid that, and that created the whole controversy with the character. But hey, it's for a filthy habit. Hasbro managed to pull it off, get cigarettes in there. Now let's get to the second one here, and here's the one that I'm really shocked about, is just how amazing Greasepit looks now that we got a good indication. I talked about this on my Twitter, and I was like, this was actually in our face this whole time, and we never knew it. If you actually get your Ironworks toy and look at his packaging, which is what Greasepit's mold is based from, he actually, in his box art, had both the signage for the Greasepit mode as well as the gas tanks are actually there. So, like, the box art for the Modulator Micromaster base mode for Ironworks on his Earthrise packaging actually was a fusion of both characters in one. Maybe it was done on purpose to kind of give us like a preview without being too forthcoming about it. I don't know. Maybe it was a mistake. That's happened in the past too, where we've had instructions that are for one toy, but they put the resculpted head of another toy on it that's supposed to be done in the future that hasn't been announced. Happens all the time. But looking at this now, the final product, I'm very impressed how far they've gone. According to the buyer, he said that the doors on the garage, which are like on the left side of the image here, which is like on both sides of the, I guess we'll call it the garage there, and the sign itself of the Super Gasoline Z1 are actually stickers that are included separately on the side that you have to apply. But hey, I don't care. That's awesome. I mean, again, it makes the final product look better. It does have the little gasoline tanks there that you could put on the side. They peg on the side there. And when you put it side by side with an Ironworks base, it really is impressive how just a slight reconfiguration, some stickers, and a couple of little changes, and even a new mold piece make it look very different. And now I'm looking forward to what they're probably going to do in the future with some of the other Modulator bases, because they could really pull something off with some of the leftover Micromaster bases that we still have available to do. So this is really cool. I dig this a lot. Again, I have a soft spot for Micromasters. I really do. They were some of my first Transformers. So to see this kind of stuff really getting fleshed out, done very well, and even though it's, again, same mold, but looks so different from a final product, just depending on how you assemble it, a little bit of stickers, one or two remolded pieces, and you got a new product. Love this both. Really excited about these. I can't wait to find these in retail when they do pop up, in Canada at least. And yeah, this is some great stuff. Again, kudos to Hasbro for putting the cigarette stuff on it. Even though cigarettes are a terrible thing, you can't blame them for trying to keep the history of that evil Decepticon character and his filthy habit. And again, that Micromaster-based Greasepit. Mwah, oh my God, chef's kiss for that one. Incredible stuff. I can't wait to get my hands on these guys. Let me know what you think. Kudos again to Hasbro, Takara, whoever, the Deco guys, for this amazing stuff from Hasbro Pulse.